I thank the gentleman from Texas, the chairman of the Rules Committee, who's actually read the bills that are in this package and knows that they're much more than what my colleague and friend from Colorado just described. Because actually the forestry legislation is something that passed this House 363 days ago in a big bipartisan vote, a big portion of which was written by my Democratic friend Peter DeFazio and Kurt Schrader. That's in this package. We have another bill coming up later that has twice passed this House unanimously. Those aren't partisan bills that are being put out, as you said, Mr. Paulus, to reward donors or anything. This is about creating jobs in America. And by the way, lots of parts of the world, like my district, need jobs. They need the certainty of jobs. And I don't know about Colorado, but Oregon and California and a lot of places are going up in smoke, choked with smoke because of forest fires. The legislation in this package that we're going to send back over to the Senate one more time, thanks to this rule and thanks to the leadership of this chairman, would allow us to get people back to work in the woods, address the problems of these fires, produce revenues for school teachers, for sheriffs and sheriff's deputies, for search and rescue, for all the basic fundamental services that matter in rural communities and I think matter across the West. So if you don't believe in taking care of your forests, then vote no on this rule. 363 days ago, the House passed H.R. 1526, the Restoring Healthy Forests for Healthy Communities Act. 2 days short of a year, Senate's done nothing. Nothing. They failed to pass a single active forestry bill. Nothing. Our forests are going up in smoke. We're spending taxpayer dollars to fight the fires. We're devastating watersheds. This has to change. Federal government controls over 50% of the land in Oregon. In 10 of the 20 counties I represent, they control over half of the land. Over the last 30 years, harvest on these lands, these federal lands, has been decreased by 90%. 9-0. Forests aren't static. They keep growing. They keep dying. We get beetle infestations. We get drought. And then we get fire. Nothing happens after the fire, other than the trees sit there and burn, and then they die, then they rot, then they fall over. There's no productive use. All that needs to change. 90% reduction in harvest off federal lands. You know what that means out in our rural areas where the federal government's supposed to be the steward? It means that we've lost 300 mills and 30,000 American jobs. 30,000 American jobs. These are jobs bills we're talking about here. These same rural areas that I represent have poverty rates at 20, 25, 30, even as high as 33.9% in Josephine County, right down in here. 33.9. You want to do something about poverty? Create a job. You want to do something about getting America on track? Pass these bills. Get the Senate to pass these bills. We'll create jobs. We'll generate revenue. We'll have positive cash flow in this country for once. It doesn't have to be this way. We can put people back to work. So our Chairman Hastings and Chairman Bishop, myself, and others worked on this bipartisan forestry legislation. As I mentioned, we actually have run this bill through an independent evaluation process to say, what's this mean for the people of Oregon? Because there's a portion here that relates just to the O&C lands, which are only in Oregon. Democratic Governor John Kitzhaber, his team took a look at our bipartisan bill, and they concluded that it would create or save 3,000 Oregon jobs. These are real jobs. These are real people. These are real families that have been suffering. 3,000 Oregon jobs. It would generate $100 million in revenue or thereabouts. That would pay for basic services. Pay for basic services. 500 million board feet of timber a year would be harvested. It'd be predictable. You'd have a private sector involvement here. 29 Oregon counties, from Klamath to Hood River to Wallowa, including all 20 of the district, 29 Oregon counties passed resolutions supporting this bipartisan legislation. We passed it 363 days ago. The Senate, I don't know what they do over there. Not much productive. We're going to give them another chance. Yes, we're repackaging these bills. Yes, the House has passed these bills before. Yes, they've passed them in a bipartisan manner. We are at the end of our legislative session. It's time, one more time, to take another attempt to pass this into law, to wake up the Senate, to get them to do the right thing. So support the rule. Let's move forward. We don't need more partisan rhetoric here. We need to help America get on its feet. We need to take better care of our forests. We need to take better care of our watersheds. We need to put people back to work in America, and that's what these bills do. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yelled.